What's up guys? Welcome to AnimeKouhai. If you'd like to help me out, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.
There were a lot of obstructions like chairs and desks. What Ramiris wanted was to move somewhere else since it was not a place to battle. Dino, though, thought that this was unacceptable because Ramiris's chances of escaping were very great. The two were thus facing each other while Alpha and the others worked to retrieve the crucial equipment. Dino and Beretta started fighting without looking around them. Dino suddenly produced a massive sword that was as tall as he was. The name of this magnificent sword was Kuzurekiba. It was a thick-bodied, single-bladed sword that looked strong enough to break an opponent with its sheer weight. Dino was wearing a breastplate, robe, and his regular clothes, which were light, in contrast to this massive weapon. It still appeared quite elegant and natural, though.
What is that sword's performance?
In terms of existence value, it is 1 million.
Alpha couldn't contain her shock at the information.
A mythical grade? What the hell? That's a foul play, even if it's Dino.
Ramiris yelled an incomprehensible grumble, but Dino chose to ignore her. Dino repositioned his Kuzurekiba over his head. As for Beretta, she was holding nothing. But the magisteel frame Rimuru had created comprised his entire body. It had assumed the shape of adamantite after getting to know Beretta's mana. Although its shape remained the same from when Rimuru had created it, its strength was unmatched. Moreover, regular weapons would be useless because it was infused with Beretta's magical aura. Beretta was a legendary grade or above full-body weapon, the hardest existence in the labyrinth. Still, though, Dino swung his massive blade down casually. Without hesitation, Beretta sidestepped and avoided it. The lack of a weapon was hardly a disadvantage, but the situation was dire this time. Dino's and Beretta's respective existence values were nearly identical at approximately 400,000. However, Beretta would be unable to compete effectively unless he had mythical-grade weapons at his disposal. Beretta, lacking a weapon, focused more on dodging than on meeting Dino's sword strikes head-on. Had the blade struck Beretta, he would have been destroyed in an instant. And to make matters worse,
the existence value of Sir Dino has grown from 400,000 to 2 million. 3 million is the total. How intimidating.
Alpha reported in a desperate manner. Beretta, though, was unmoved. Ramiris seemed unsurprised as well, almost as if she expected it.
I'm not sure how you did it, but it looks like you're manipulating the existence value meter. Obviously, there is more work to be done on it. Anyway, Alpha, you don't have to address Dino as Sir, or treat him like a prince or anything.
Hey, it's okay. I'm still a demon lord, right?
Stop talking. Beretta-chan, you two don't need to be courteous. Just go ahead and show off your real strength. Let that idiot experience the wrath of heaven.
I lack that kind of power, but if it's an order, I'll do my best.
Beretta was working as hard as she always had. There was a significant disparity of more than 7 times, even if the existence value was merely a rough estimate. Despite his inner feelings that Ramiris was being unfair, Beretta complied to his master's expectations by keeping a careful eye on Dino.
It's not easy to deal with you either.
I won't deny it, but I don't want to hear that from my enemy.
In response, Beretta circled Dino, keeping her attention on evasion. As long as the strikes missed their target, there was no need to be defensive. To think in a different way was the key. Beretta's entire body served as a weapon. He had no disadvantage using his bare hands. Conversely, they could be employed as a variety of offensive strategies. However, Dino was just weakly equipped, and the large sword was the only thing to be wary about. The circumstances remained unchanged. A hit would bring about a powerful blow. As a result, he still stood a chance of winning. Thinking as much, Beretta had been keeping an eye out for openings. As a Chaos Doll, Beretta was adept at altering her characteristics. By employing his special ability, Double Crosser, he may alternate between qualities repeatedly and look for Dino's vulnerabilities. He was facing Dino, trying to think of every way to turn the tide in his favor. Dino was not pleased with himself for being the target of the attack.
Gosh. Okay, so you're from the dirty school of fighting, right? I have to admit that they are right when they say that no one is a tougher fighter once they get under their opponent's skin.
Thank you for the compliment.
I wasn't giving you any compliments.
Beretta attempted everything to reverse his disadvantage, even using conversation as a weapon. He didn't have time to waste. Even though he was not in a state of distress, he had to use every ounce of his strength to maintain the status quo. Upon accurately assessing the circumstances, Dino concluded that his position was unfavorable. That surprise attack was a terrible idea. The plan was derailed into disarray, and it had unnecessarily resulted in further battles. Even though Beretta and Dino were very different in ability, there wasn't much a skill disparity. Still, Beretta was obviously reaching his limits. However, this was Ramiris's labyrinth, and even if Beretta died, he could be resurrected. He would not be harmed by applying too much force, nor would he have to worry about running out of energy. He was only able to give it his all in an attempt to resist Dino because he could disregard all of these limitations. They were shielded from harm by environmental factors, but even this had its limitations. Beretta was not powerful enough to reverse the significant disparity in power. Still, Dino found it impressive. It makes sense that he belongs to the Black Tribe. His level of endurance surprised me. Dino had given Beretta a higher rating. Had it been Trainee or Cherries, the game would have ended sooner. While those two were not insignificant in any way, angels possessed a significant edge over spirits. Furthermore, the disparity in battle experience was excessive. Beretta, however, as a member of the Black Tribe, possessed a comparable level of expertise to that of Dino. Even though he was in a situation where a single strike would kill him instantly, he had the courage to assess Dino's attack with calmness. He not only never gave up on winning, but he also appeared to be enjoying the circumstances. Even when Dino showed an opening on purpose, Beretta did not take the bait. That in and of itself was commendable, but Dino was surprised that the occasional counterattack could even injure him. The Fallen were not adept at dealing with holy attributes, but this was not a fatal flaw. Despite this, Beretta's attack was causing damage. The blow was a combination of demonic and holy attributes, and Dino's defense barrier was unable to stop it. Dino concluded that defending against this onslaught was nearly impossible. He would undoubtedly suffer harm if he couldn't use his willpower to defeat it, just like with the spirit attacks. Dino was shocked that a simple unique level skill could harm him, even though he was a former seraph and was aware of the rules of this world. Beretta's extreme fighting skills were truly impressive. Dino, on the other hand, was becoming accustomed to Beretta's moves. Dino was aware that the gap would widen the more he swung his heavy sword. Beretta exploited his gap and assaulted him, which was surprising but within tolerance. Beretta appeared to be suppressing Dino at first glance, as Dino's strikes didn't even scratch him. However, Kuzurekiba could easily sever even an adamantite body. Dino thought there was no issue because everything could be turned around with a single strike. And Beretta knew exactly what was going on and was biding her time. Beretta appeared to have come to the conclusion that he could not defeat Dino by mounting an offensive, so he was concentrating more on defense.
That's the correct answer, isn't it? It's a win for Beretta to defend Ramiris.
Dino, who could see through Beretta's inner thoughts, was also not a fool. The inhabitants in the labyrinth weren't going to die as long as Ramiris remained there. If Ramiris were slain, on the other hand, the labyrinth would come to an immediate end. Beretta naturally prioritized buying time since there was no way of knowing if the labyrinth would be protected if she was taken hostage. Beretta would finally get what he wanted at this rate. It wouldn't be that simple, though. Sadly for Beretta, Dino was still holding his last hand. Dino needed to neutralize Beretta here, which was why he was stalling Beretta. Fighting against a foe who would resurrect even after you killed him was really problematic. If he could just reach Ramiris before Beretta came back to life, that would have been good, but if that happened, the others would definitely come in the way. It might also involve Ramiris if he attacked with the intention of killing. Dino had been honest when he said that he didn't want to kill Ramiris, but that had turned into a shackle that kept him in the present and made things harder for him.
It's really very bothersome. I cannot imagine how difficult it is to neutralize Beretta. Although it would have been easier to just kill him, I suppose it makes little difference now that my preparations are complete.
Beretta, you performed admirably. Slothful sleep, fallen hypno.
Dino let his powers go. It was a wide-range, non-lethal strike using the unique skill, Sloth. The caster would induce a deep sleep that would keep all living creatures from awakening until they were freed. Using willpower to resist was pointless. As the word, sloth, suggested, it was one of the most potent powers in the Deadly Sin series, yet it required a lengthy time to activate. But the only people who could withstand it would be those with ultimate skill. It was a terrifying assault that was arguably the strongest at the unique skill level. Dino wanted to use as little force as possible to neutralize Beretta and the others. Shinji, Alpha, and the others were in the control room attempting to defend Ramiris, and he didn't want to harm them. And he really respected Vesta, the boss he'd put to sleep initially. Additionally, he felt a sense of camaraderie with Shinji and the other colleagues.
To be honest, I didn't want to betray them.
He was powerless to defy Feldway's directives, though, since they were absolute.
Sincerely, I apologize. Don't feel awful. Feldway can try to leave this spot alone, I'll ask him.
Beretta fell to the ground, and Dino murmured to himself. Feeling that he had finally accomplished his task, he cast a quick glance at the sleeping Ramiris and held out his hand to her.
I will not allow it.
He was stopped by a cold voice.
Really?
When Dino looked around, he saw a woman standing there. Her cilia shone in shades of golden and silver, the glossy black adamantite exoskeleton covering the most delicate parts of her body. With 2 pairs of shimmering blue wings resembling those of an exotic butterfly, she exuded an otherworldly charm that matched the color of her compound eyes on her forehead. That woman was actually Apito, reawakened from her evolutionary hibernation. Every portion of her body had a different color from when she first started to evolve, but her overall shape was almost unchanged. But Apito was now even more beautiful overall. She was a more formidable presence as the insect queen than she had ever been.
Apito? Excellent. Would you mind destroying my chaos core for me?
Beretta was only just able to withstand fallen hypno because demons did not require sleep. He was only awake long enough to ask Apito for a favor before going into deep sleep.
Sir Beretta.
Are you still awake? But you're immobile.
Due to his disbelief, Dino reacted a bit slowly, which allowed him to miss Apito's subsequent move. Unaware of the reason behind his request, Apito unleashed a poison stinger, shattering Beretta's chaos core to bits. The thick adamantite was easily broken by the Osiris rapier, a self-regenerating weapon with which she was justifiably proud. This was a rapier that she could make with her own body, as many as she wanted. Still, there was no way she could have completed the task without this evolution. Beretta laughed.
Well done, hee. I will die with this and rise again without injury. For the time being, Apito, I'll let you handle things.
Though he was no longer the head of the dungeon's Elite 10, Beretta remained Ramiris' second in command. He still has the power to command the Elite 10.
Understood. I hope you get back soon because, regrettably, I don't think I can defeat him.
In contrast to what she said, Apito sounded assured of her triumph. Dino said something in a displeased tone, as if he realized this too.
You must be joking with me. Such a precise assessment. Hence there's no way to benefit from it.
Dino made the right decision. Beretta turned into a speck of light, leaving the rest to Apito. The next instant, Apito accelerated past the speed of sound. The battle within the control room grew more intense.
This is just horrible.
It was Dino's unadulterated viewpoint. Although Apito was not Dino's adversary, she was also impervious to death in the labyrinth.
That's it for this video, guys. Thank you for always watching my videos and supporting my channel. A big thanks to the AnimeKouhai patrons who made this video possible. Jared Bressler, Chad Vota, Chris Guzman, Havox, Speed Saber, James Waters, Arijit Das, Curtis Loban, Judah Herrera, Just a Guy, Misael W. Hernandez, Jason Martin, Zach Rossan, Jarius Ladek, Stone Larone, Alfonso Smith, Donald Williams, Moab A, Day of Light, John M, John Charles, Godman Gaming, Markithian Tidwell, Andre L. Hamilton, Adrian, Kumo, Sanketh Chelu, T. Bush, John L, Edgar Fuentes, JV, Dirty Old Hobo, Thomas, J, Christ, Juan Ignacio, Joshua Cousins, Jose Hernandez, Vethelny, Lunel Scarlett, Khaled, Christian Deshazer, Cal Robs, Divine C. Harris, Panda Cats, Aaron Alarcon, DeAndre Nance, Monty Boy 98, D-Man, Ruben, Luis Caro, Yuki Iki, Pedro Robles, Chris Jr., Isaac, Koala King 93, Little 95, Coyote de Peza, Quilly Buckner, Zephyros, Alver, Normal Defate, Joshua Andrade, L, Gary Miles, Dragon Spawn 666, J Rule, Sayonori, Liel Tiram, Liron Sangkap, Eric Tass, Christopher Mash, Echo Ski, Foolish Prophets, Ethan Madison, Charles Bailey, Sky T, Diego Ginoza, Nick H, Andre Hamilton, Jason Torres, Sesh, Guy Ansley, Simon Road, Emperor WSA, Mika Espinosa, George Hage, Pratik Bandari, Arod Dare, Faiz Mansour, Derihas Jackson Early, Smexy, Carl Stephen Bernadal, Tank Bailey, Gareth Hashimoto, Steven Madison, Homelike Drop, Nasir, Mam Wang Min, Vasto Lord, Martin Ramos, Marl Barsha, Aditya Vyas, Hansel Ortega, Efrain Hernandez, Luca Gaming WTF, William Locke, Bismarck Munoz, Arion Booker, Kamal Luke, Wei Jun, Alvin Quarty, Samuel Ward, Steven, Mose Chaudhary. Thank you so much for helping out. I'll see you guys in the next video.